think we have been joined by all our panelists, all our speakers, experts from the ground, and our key members and outreach actors. So, without wasting much time, we'll enter into this crucial consultation which we have planned towards addressing the recent flash floods or the Gulf incident which has impacted the Sikkim and West Bengal region particularly. And without wasting much time, maybe I'll just quickly give you a background about what has happened. We all know this. Just to set the context, perhaps on the morning of October 4th, a glacial lake outburst and a flash flood occurred in the South Lonak Lake, situated in the northwest Sikkim, triggered by relentless rain in the region. This situation was perhaps further exaggerated by an abrupt release of water from the Chungtang Dam, leading to a rapid surge in downstream water levels, which was quoted to be like reaching up to the height of even 15 to 20 feet. And the flash flood further traveled through the river Teesta, resulting in the destruction of the Indranee Bridge in Singtan town, and also causing significant damage, infrastructure damage, to roads, bridges, water pipelines, sewage lines, government buildings, residential houses across four major affected regions, which were Mangan, Gangtok, Namchi, and Pakyong, and in the North Sikkim. And it has it has totally damaged National Highway 10, which is perhaps the only route towards Sikkim and which connects the entire state. And it had further far-reaching consequences, even affecting the West Bengal's Kalimpong district. The Teesta area experienced substantial damage, resulting in the complete loss of households, and damaged around more than 79 houses. And there are even pertaining concerns about potential disease outbreaks and heightened risk to vulnerable populations remaining a prominent issue alongside the physical damage caused by the disaster. If we talk about the current scenario, there are the rescue operations are still pertaining. However, the immediate reliefs are met till now. So we have been in Sphere India, we have been doing as part of our standard operating procedure. We have this interagency coordination committee. So that comprises of various. It's basically a program committee under Sphere India. So we that comprises of different different humanitarian agencies who are part of our members only, and they guide us how to, like, they first take stock of what is the situation there, and then further share about the response plan and all, and then further we finally devise a common strategy. So this time, since roads and connectivity was a pertinent issue, we didn't go for a joint rapid need assessment. Rather, what the strategy which we took this time was to go with the preliminary assessment, and that we conducted with the support of our member agencies or the responding agencies who are already there at the ground. And we also collaborated with the Sikkim SDMA, who used to share with us, who have been sharing with us their daily reports and summaries, and even from the MHA we have been collecting these situation update reports. And with the support of our again members, we collated these preliminary assessment report, and by far we have compiled around 3 assessment reports. And initially from the October 4th onwards, we have been releasing timely situation reports as well. And so yeah, that is the update. And I'm just quickly running everybody through a quick presentation. However, we know that this is just a preliminary assessment report, but we have been joined by a lot of experts with us, and who are working on the ground and who have been responding to the situation, who have witnessed this entire crisis from their own hands and eyes. So I won't be taking much of the time. Rather, we'll like to hear from some of the actors who are there from the ground, especially from Sikkim and West Bengal. And apart from that, we also have a common platform, like a open discussion platform, which will be provided to everybody to share. I know there are a lot of actors who have joined, like local CSOs and all, and the responding agencies from our members and outreach who have joined here. So we'd like to hear from all of you about what is the situation there, If you have any further information apart from what we have been sharing, please feel free to share with us. And also, we want to hear from you what are the priority concerns which are rising from the state. And then finally, we'll also like to hear from you about what should be our strategy. We understand the immediate relief have been met, but towards the recovery or towards the long-term recovery or the mitigation for the future preparedness, how can we take it forward? So with that note, I'll quickly run through this assessment report, the findings of the assessment report, which I've compiled. Just a second, I'm just entering. So this was one of the maps which we have developed about the affected regions. We have quoted it. The numbers which you see, it is the Teesta river flowing and the impacted region. So basically, the entire region alongside the Teesta river was damaged. So this is as per that, and so the total population affected as of now, it's the data. If you compile 4 districts, as you said, in Sikkim have been affected, and wherein, as per the government data, see that there is a one contradicting fact as well about the media report and the government report, where however we are following the government report as of now. So as per today's the latest report, the human lives lost are around 40, people injured around 30, still 79 people are missing. Around 90,000 people have been affected. 16 relief camps are being run, wherein there are 1,347 inmates. 1,400 around houses have been fully damaged, and around 600 houses have been partially damaged. Significant impact has been caused to the animal lives as well, and the evacuation phase is still ongoing. That raises around 5,000. The situation update, if we talk about from the Sikkim side, there are challenges in the road accessibility. The zip lines are being used to distribute the foods and the power supply. The drinking water is a challenge there. The price monitoring and inflation control is one of the necessary aspects which have to be taken care of. If you talk about the damage, the Kichu dam has been totally damaged. Implications on the water supply is totally there, due to which the drinking water is a challenge. And if you talk about the Yong and Simta areas, so Yong and Simta areas are currently the most accessible and resourceful locations for relief efforts. However, there is a limited access beyond the Naga region due to restrictions and obstructions. As I said, the zip line is being used for the distribution. That is primarily for the immediate needs, like distribution of food, sanitary napkins, and milk in certain areas. And the price monitoring and inflation is being done by the government itself. Authorities are closely monitoring the prices of the essential items, and they have released a standard prices starter as a government advisory for controlling the market prices. The community kitchens are being run across the region for providing the substances to the affected population. Immediate needs and relief are being met through that. Desilting activities are ongoing to restore normalcy. People have, however, started returning to the temporary camps or the houses. But even there, if you see, while they are returning back, there's a huge limitation of they have to actually start their life from the scratch. So they need a lot of things, starting from utensils and the basic household items. And the livelihood is another major concern, because many of the places are shut, and the riverside and everything is totally damaged. The road and such accessibility is also not there. The pregnant women and children are one of the most vulnerable population in the current scenario. As I said, clean water is missing. Food is being taken care of. However, nutrition is a challenge. There is a continuous call from the government side to provide health and hygiene kits. Shelter, since most of the shelters are being damaged, and even many are under debris or filled with silt, so that has to be removed. Blankets, the winters are again closing, the temperature is dipping, so blankets and warm clothes are currently one of the priority areas. If we talk about the non-food items, torches, candles, inner wears, and even some of the support for the old age people, like spectacles and those items are also required. People have gone through a lot of traumas since people have lost everything. The hospitals are filled with patients, and the medical staffs are overwhelmed. So all these people need mental health and psychosocial support. Even the kids would be needing these, and the child-friendly spaces. Though the schools are being opened, still the challenge pertains with taking care of these children. And if you talk about the West Bengal side, there is a this particular disaster has resulted in a lot of houses and damage to houses partially and fully. Roads are being damaged, and the result it has also resulted in the loss of livestock, including many of the pigs, poultry, and numerous chickens as well, which is like one of the major livelihood source for these people have been damaged. And more than 300 students are unable to commute to Kalimpong for schools. And however, the government has also ordered to provide these online classes for these students. We talk about the emerging needs from the West Bengal side. The health and hygiene kits would be one of the factors. The nutrition foods, again, specific medications to take care of their the personal, like the personal medications for these people, for the people in the camps, and also the medical camps. Though there are many of the organizations who are been establishing medical camps from the initial phase, still that is one of the lacking phase. And again, the rest of the items mostly are the same. However, in Kalimpong region, schools still that the school and the school-going children are to be taken care of. The school dress and the stationery items would be another one of the major items. Government is taking care of these people very well, like at least the state government for the rescue and relief operations that is ongoing. Some of the remunerations are being offered to the like the ex gratia amount and all are being offered. The National Crisis Management Committee has already visited twice, and they have also prepared a assessment report which is yet to be released. And then the SDMA along with the DDMAs are also providing relief supplies to the far end places where even now the access is not there. So if you talk about what we have done till now, so we have been, as I said in the beginning, we have been monitoring and coordinating the situation. We have even initiated the URS matrix under the guidance of Interagency Committee. The IAC committee has already been called for around 3 times, wherein we have thoroughly monitored the situation and taken stock from the ground experts who are there right now witnessing the situation, and also from the responding agencies and experts to strategize our action plan. And apart from that, the preliminary assessment reports are being developed more timely. Around 3 have been developed as of now. The state level GNG coordination is being established with the support of the SDMA. And right now we have also, this is one of the follow-up actions which we are doing at the multi-stakeholder consultation. The IAG strengthening is another one of the program which we are taking care of. Though once the IAG was there, at the current phase, it's not so active. So we have identified around 8 to 10 organizations who are active in the region, along with Bhavishya Bharat is there, and Save the Hills is there, who are there, one of the speakers for these for this particular consultation. So along with this, we have other NGOs as well we have identified, and with the support of these, we'll be strengthening and like reinforcing the IAG once again there. So that was about the preliminary assessment which we have compiled. So apart from that, so to hear, as I said, to hear more from the ground people, we have been joined by 3 experts with us. Mr. Hemant, who is representing Bhavishya Bharat. We have Praful Raoji, who is from Save the Hills, and Omkar Khare, who is from UNICEF India. And also will be joined shortly by Professor Vinod Sharma, who is the Vice Chairman of Sikkim SDMA, to present the keynote address. And to take all these discussions forward, Imran Majid from ADRA has joined us, and he will be moderating the session. He is also the interim chair for the Interagency Coordination Committee. So with this, I'll hand it over to Mr. Imran to take these discussions forward. Imran, sir, over to you.
Thank you, Sujo, for the detailed context setting and the situation overview of Sikkim and West Bengal. So yeah, we all understand and we are aware of the situation in Sikkim and West Bengal, and the biggest challenge there, apart from the needs and all that what you shared already, has been the access to the North Sikkim, I think. So we have been hearing the reports that access to North Sikkim is very challenging, and so when there is no access for organizations to respond there, so the needs would be definitely very high there. But it is more important for all of us to actually hear from the ground, hear from the people who are actually there, and who have more information about the overall situation and the sectoral needs. So I think I will not take much time. I will give directly this session to Mr. Hemant Kumar, so that he can take us through the situation overview and needs assessment in Sikkim. Mr. Hemant Kumar, over to you, please.
Thank you, sir. Namaste to you all the honorable members present today in this discussion. We are grateful to Sphere India for allowing us to share the current situation of Sikkim, which is heavily affected by the recent past flash floods. I believe that I am not a competent person to give you the overall situation of across the Sikkim, but of course we are in Mangan, and we are from the day one. Our team is there day night. I mean, and few of them got sick also as of today now. But we are on the ground and we are helping people in Chungtang. Not only Chungtang, actually, the list shared by Siljo ji, most of the villages with the high ridges like Safo, Salem Pakel, Pegong, they also cut off from the main road. So there is a need of food supply there. So we are, I mean, fulfilling the support to those villages also. And we'll give you the small brief. Bhavish Bharat, we are working since 2008 in Sikkim. And not only this disaster, before that 2011, 12, and then the few flash flood in Gazing districts and all. So as our presence there is as a social organization, so we take it responsibility as a first responder for any such crisis. So we've closely worked with the state government, especially the Mangan district administration help us a lot. I have seen so many people from the Sikkim, they are in the discussion. So I'll just update you all with a brief information, which most of the things were covered by Siljoji. So as of now, we covered, I mean, around 10,000 population in 15 villages of North Sikkim. We set up a community kitchen. Then we provided Medicare support from the day one. And thanks to Honorable Chief Minister of Sikkim, they spare time to visit our relief centers and appreciated the efforts of our team, as you see him in the photographs also. And then we distributed sanitary pads, activate the helpline numbers wherever we are not able to reach. So our team will coordinate with them. Then we supplied the grains around to 500 kgs of rice and all. We provided generator fuel as plus of that. Then water pipes, blankets, utensils, whatever the minimum we can, and the most needy people. Next to this, I mean, still we are facing problem to communicate with them and sending the stuff because the jeep line only is working in Sanklang and other roads are cut off. And whenever this water level rise, that also sometimes washed away and all. So these are the problem currently we are facing. Go to the next slide, please. Our assessment that urgent need, which already covered by Siljoji, and I also spoke to few panchayat members. Aspects are required immediately there for the old age people. Utensils is required because they don't have I mean plates or tubs or to take food and all. Of course, clean drinking water supply is required there. We are in touch with Tata Swaksh. They are our partner in Telangana also. So, but the problem is that getting funds, they are ready to give us on the very normal rate, but they are a commercial company. So that we are struggling to get the support. Water is a requirement even in the Mangan district also. Last 2-3 days we have update that there is a crisis of water in Mangan also. And as informed clothes of course required because the temperature is dipping now, blankets. And the more important is livelihood support because of the livestocks and all washed away. So these are our preliminary assessment. And we are open to take suggestions of you all also. Maybe other partners from the different area can suggest something. So this is the current situation. If you see some photographs, these are how we are transhipping the stuff through the zip line. And thanks to those tribal community who is helping us in that. They only make this zip line and all. Then we have our mobile medical unit which equipped with all the facilities. So in our mobile unit, we are providing the medical health care. And in Chungtang, we see that there is no other way to reach there except this. Even the choppers has limited available for us. So we are transhipping everything, and from that side, the community volunteers helping us. So this is in the brief about the current situation of the Mangan district. Thank you, Imran Bhai.
Thanks a lot, Mr. Hemant Kumar, for this oral overview and taking us through the needs and the situation in Sikkim. So, Sunjo, I think it would be good we take the question answers and the suggestions session in the end after all the sessions are covered, because otherwise, if we do it in between, it will maybe disturb the whole flow of the sessions. So, yeah, I think we can quickly go to Mr. Praful Rao from Save the Hills to understand the situation overview and the needs in the West Bengal. And then we will continue with the other sessions. Over to you, Mr. Praful Rao from Save the Hills.
Thank you, Imran. Thank you. Okay, just to brief you about what is the situation. I'll come to that a little later, but what I'd like to tell you is that yes, winter is so fast approaching. Our temperatures are now about 15 degrees or so in the morning, and that would require a lot of warm clothes in the relief centers. I checked up with an NGO. They said that they were giving blankets, etc., but maybe jackets and things like that would be required for the people in the relief camps. Talking more about the weather, I just wanted to brief you all that we keep a track of the weather in Save the Hills, and just put it up in our WhatsApp group, hazard alerts, that there is a low pressure which is formed just in morning hours or sometime around 10 o'clock in the Bay of Bengal, in the central Bay of Bengal. That is likely to intensify into a depression by the 23rd or so and move in a sort of a north-westerly direction towards the Andhra coast, and then it could impact the Bangladesh coast, which means that anything happens in the Bay of Bengal, that will definitely have an impact in the hills here. So that would be quite a bad thing to happen for road repair as well as for the relief people. So around the 24th, the storm is expected to come towards the coast of Bangladesh. You might like to verify this from the IMD website. From our side, we have done a fair amount of reporting. I myself have gone to Sikkim to Rangpur. We spent a whole day there on the 6th of October. That was 2 days after the cloth. And then after that, we went to Teesta, spent a lot of time there. Then I've been doing quite a bit of photography from the edge of the Kalimpong bastis overlooking the NH10, so that I could keep that as a record for future. And that is all in our blog. Do have a look at the blog. I've given a reference there. I've also put a small timeline there as to what exactly happened during the Gulf. If you can kindly have a look, and if a better timeline is available, I think it's very important to get accurate timeline as to what time it started, what time it hit various areas, and what time it hit. Well, from whatever I received, I put screenshots of the messages which I received. This started off at 2:22 in the morning on 4th. And then continued up to 8 o'clock or so. After that, of course, things took its own turn. So that is available also as a timeline. Do give us more accurate timelines if you have, especially from maybe the army sources or from ITBF or ITBP or from Sikkim. it is most important for us to know how quickly these massive devastation things move. Having said that, like I said, I have been monitoring the situation in Teesta. Fortunately for us, this particular disaster is confined to the Teesta Valley. So unlike the 1968 disaster, which I also lived through, we don't have to go into a remote village, etc. It's all along the Teesta Valley. Yes, many places are still inaccessible. The roads are in terrible condition. And what I noticed that day when I was in Teesta, and even now when I read the media reports, is that the Teesta seems to be flowing definitely at least about 10 feet above the normal level. The siltation has been so much, and the deposition of debris and silt has been so much that is now flowing on it's firstly broadened. It covers the entire valley, and there's no reason that this should be happening, because we've not had rains for quite some time, and it's not been heavy raining. It has been raining in North Sikkim for some time, but then we monitor the rainfall, and it's not in 50s or 60 millimeters or something like that. It's just about 20, 30 millimeters and so on. And Kalimpong, Darjeeling, and all these areas have been absolutely dry for the last 10 to 15 days. So I don't know why the Teesta is so brown. Why is it carrying so much silt? Why is it flowing so fast? And that is hampering road construction. So road construction is still a lot of problems there. Also, what I saw in the news report is that parts of Teesta Bazaar, etc., are reported to be sinking because of the erosion. The report was live, and I do believe that report is correct. What I'm afraid of is not really this year. Hopefully, the cyclone won't hit us that badly, etc. The one which is forming in the Bay of Bengal. It is likely to intensify into a cyclone, by the way. But I'm bothered about the next year. That is the troubling part. You know, when the monsoons come next year, what is going to be the state of NH10? It's amazing what this cloth has done to it. So the NH10 is open towards Gangtok, but close towards Siliguri from Kalimpong, from Teesta Bazaar. So all the traffic from Gangtok comes to Kalimpong and then goes via Lava down to the plains and to Siliguri. As a result, we have massive traffic jams in Kalimpong and in Lava area. So going down to Siliguri is becoming a problem here. People are now charging through the Panbu route, which is a shorter route, but then that route is very, very narrow. And if a vehicle gets stuck or damaged there, then we'll have massive traffic jams and problems there. Very desolate and very beautiful, but then very desolate road. No shops, no garages or anything where you can get your vehicle repaired. So that's the alternate route which people are following. The road to Tribeni, which was the GTA's COVID hospital, is also cut off. Darjeeling road, well, people are going to Siliguri on the NH10 from Teesta to Siliguri, but officially it has not been opened. Same thing with Darjeeling. Darjeeling road, some people are going, getting through, etc., but officially it is not open for traffic. So these are the road conditions. About the relief centers, I checked up with several people, including the official level. Things seem to be under control. People are okay. There is a slightly a less number of people, because many of the people whose homes were okay have gone back. But there is still, there were 10 odd relief camps from, say, Gelkhola towards Rampu. So I think all the 10 are still working. And as far as I know, there is nothing on towards there, or on people are being given medical care, food and other things are okay. So that's my report.
Thanks a lot, Mr. Dr. Rao, for the in-depth details. I think these are like very detailed inputs at a level where a lot of people don't look at these details. So yeah, thanks a lot. This is very eye-opening and very very good to for us to understand this information. This is very helpful. Thank you very much again. So yeah, let's move to another session from by Mr. Omkar Onyothare. Yeah, he will be taking us through on the discussion on the cultivating resilience, insights and lessons from the flesh first. So giving over to Mr. Omkar to take us through this session.
Hi, thank you, Seljo. Am I audible?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So, thank you, the previous speakers. I think everybody spoke very well, and we fairly know now how the situation is over there. One thing which Mr. Rao also threw some light on is about the roads which are closed. Now, my topic is cultivating resilience. So, I am more more of my talk will be around what has gone wrong as a whole structure and what we could possibly do in the next 3 years or 5 years to try and fix it. So what Mr. Rao said about these roads being closed, I traveled that area, and I mean, it took more than double of the time what it takes generally, and the roads were from all the ghats, and we all know that area. There were many subsidences which have happened. I had a discussion with Mr. Rao. He works around it. These subsidences are happening because the entire slope is slowly going towards instability, which is natural, which is not that which is happening because of climate change or which is happening because of something uh, new human activity which is going on. We can't blame it on any one uh, variable here. There are many variables. So these subsidences and then a lot of slopes are getting breached. I mean, so there are mudslides, there are landslides, small ones here and there. Coupled with this, there are developmental projects which will keep happening, which must happen. That is a requirement for the people to live there. But how do we develop? That needs to be looked at, relooked at, or like if there's a train with just opposite Tista, for those of who you've been there, particularly in the northern West Bengal part, just like I think hardly a 500 meters or 700 meters from Tista village, there is a massive tunnel work going on and a railway tunnel, which is good. They have taken enough mitigation and everything. However, everywhere mitigation may or may not be there. So that mitigation, if I'm developing something, if I'm building something new, that mitigation lens has to come in. Otherwise, we are putting a lot of people in a lot of risk, which does not exist today. If we develop without a thought, if we develop without a proper study, we will kill more people in the coming time. In the areas where, particularly in north part of West Bengal, Tista, Rampur, Nozog, these 3-4 districts which cater to around 32,000 people, out of which a lot of them are migrants. They are legal migrants. There may be illegal migrants. That comes later. But during my field visit, I discovered there are around 32,000 people practically talking to local authorities and all. So all these people are practically living on the river bank. Some of them are living inside the river terraces. While they are living there, we know that sometime this is going to this area will be flooded and their houses will be impacted. So that we need to ask these questions to the DDMAs, to the GTA in the West Bengal context, on how are we developing, and if we are developing, where should we let people live? Where should our roads come? Where should our infrastructure come? And if it is coming after, where should it come? What quality should be there? What kind of engineering intel should go in to not have more floods or not have more damage during such floods? Floods will happen. We don't have a choice. But how do we minimize the damage, first to life and then to property? Mr. Rao also mentioned about the increased height of the river. So if for those of you, the listeners who have visited Tista particularly, you have seen that a couple of houses which were newly built are still inside the river. I mean, I saw photos of 3 days back, and those houses were still inside there because the river is going 10 feet above. In routine development, there are building codes, there are a lot of uh, rules, regulations where buildings should come up, not come up. They already exist. We don't need something new in this case. Are they being followed? That also need to be questioned again, jointly with the district administration. Now, district administration also has its limitations because they cannot go and monitor every house. It's practically not possible. So a dialogue needs to go in, discussion needs to go in, and then locally at Gram Panchayat level, some monitoring, some checks and balances need to come out. These provisions are there in the acts which exist, like the National Disaster Management Act is there, the building codes are there. These provisions are there. A lot of provisions are already there, but we need to get these provisions, you know, need to get SOPs, things, doable items by the local, sub-local government. There are these panchayat samitis, there are gram panchayats. All these people need to get capacitated, particularly in these 5, 6 districts which are in the Himalayan, fragile Himalayan zones. Because I mean 5, 6 only because we're talking only about Sikkim and northern side of West Bengal. Otherwise, there are many districts in that zone. But in our context here, we need to have more dialogue, more discussions with these 5, 6 district administrations, with other developmental authorities in these areas to have checks and balances in place. Now, this river is also known to be the most beautiful and the most like geologically, river has three zones. One is the nascent time when the river is very new, a newborn river. Then it's in the youthful stage, and then it's the old age where it's more of delta. So by geography, by geology, this region, because it's in the mountains, the river is in its youthful phase when it is most destructive. There are dams built over there, and then these kind of things are happening. We also these things should be understood by the locals. I mean, it's not. I'm sure the district collector office knows this. I'm sure the geological survey knows this. I'm sure, but who does not know and who needs to know is the local people. Is the is the local mason, is the local uh, villager who's going to build a building somewhere. It may be for his or her restaurant, it may be for his or her house, whatever. I mean, it's a building, end of the day. And if it's built in a particular way where it's going to be held, where it's going to be vulnerable, it's not going to, I mean, we are going to repeat these kind of like uh, we had a same flood, same intensity flood 55 years back on the same day, 4th October. Locals know it. So people have this memory, but people don't know what to do if it happens later. If it happens again, like 55 years is like almost 1.5 generations. Knowledge, preserving that knowledge of one-time incidents through 55 years is not possible. So having these local capacity building, local awareness campaigns, I think what Mr. Rao has been doing, but we need more hands, we need more local people who can do these awareness buildings of the locals are trusted. So locals should be capacitated by players like in this call, and then locals should take this forward, like if forward to the other local people and build their capacities. So there are these two things which are, I mean, which needs to be done. One is engagement with the administration, and second is engagement with the community, and then make them work together. If that doesn't happen anywhere, I mean, this is true for anywhere, not only in this case, our mitigation or capacity building or preparedness for this kind of events are not going to be foolproof. We are going to keep these events with climate change. These floods are going to only be if it happened in 55 years gap, maybe it will happen in 10 or 12 years gap, and then maybe 5 years, and then maybe every year. That's what is happening in many places. Like we are seeing in the last, particularly in the last decade, number of floods, frequency of floods have increased. It is same pattern is expected in the Himalayan region also. So to have that, these two interventions are absolutely like non-negotiables. We will have to work as NGO networks, as UN agencies, as individuals. We will have to work. UNICEF is available to support whoever wants to work. We are also building a project right now for instant relief not relief, instant recovery, because based on my interaction with a lot of credible NGOs and the NGO network of Kalimpong, it was very evident that immediate response is not required, immediate relief is not required. Government is taking care, NGOs are taking care, philanthropists are taking care. So we may not want to engage in that, but we are more interested into things like mental health, things like this long-term recovery, long-term capacity building, awareness generation kind of things. So we are working towards that, and we will get back to the local teams and next week or something, and we'll start something. Probably in the next spear meeting, we'll have a more detailed update on what UNICEF would be starting in the next few days, maybe at the most next 10-12 days. Hope I am in time. Thank you. Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Omkar, for the detailed insights on the needs for recovery and how on the and the preparedness, what is the need for preparedness in Sikkim and the parts of West Bengal, and also how we can work on the recovery. I think these are very good and valid points. I think we all should, as IIC, as the representatives from different organizations, we should consider this and these points and work together to build on it for the recovery and preparedness needs in Sikkim. Thank you very much for this. So moving forward, I think our keynote address will be slightly delayed because Professor Vinod Sharma is slightly busy in some other meeting. He may be delayed by 5 minutes or 10 minutes. But I think till then we can continue to the next session, which is an open discussion on emerging gaps, challenges, strategies, and solutions, so that we respect the time and we be on the time. So I think we can take that session, and then we can, when Professor Vinod Kumar Sharma joins us, we can give him time for the keynote address. So I am opening this session for all the participants to share their viewpoint, share their suggestions, observations, or assessment findings very quickly, very briefly with us on the emerging needs and gaps. I think Professor Vinod Sharma is joining us. He's in the waiting hall.
Yes, he's there. Maybe we can hear from him first. He's just connecting with his audio.
सिक्किम वगैरह में फ्लड्स आया हाँ हाँ उसी की मीटिंग चल रही है मका देखो अब सीट कम नहीं करना है फिर उन्होंने मन किया वो मका देखो जी पुनः किया था
Good afternoon, Vinod sir. Can you hear us?
हाँ can you hear me? Am I
Yes, sir,
audible?
totally. Yes, sir, totally.
Sorry, I was having a session, so I'm slightly late.
That's not a problem, sir. So actually, I'll just brief you what we have covered. So firstly, from the Sphere India side, we presented preliminary assessment findings, and then we heard from Sikkim and West Bengal experts like Mr. Hemant Bhavishya Bharat and Praful Rao from Save the Hills, and Omkar from UNICEF also shared his expertise on the resilience strategies. Imran sir from ADRA is moderating the session today, so I'll quickly request Imran sir to invite Professor Vinod. Imran sir?
Oh, sorry, I was on mute. I was talking. So thank you, Siljo, for the introduction. Thank you, Professor Vinod sir, for joining us on time, I would say, because you joined before time. We were expecting a delay, but thanks for that. So I will give it to you now to give us a keynote address from the state government actions and strategies for future disaster management in Sikkim. So yeah, over to you, sir.
Thank you very much, Ibrahim. And I'm
very happy that so many organizations are willing to help us, in this situation. And you all are aware, the losses, and it was a very big calamity which has happened in Sikkim, and we are recovering, very slowly. There was, one or two things, before I explain about our need, requirement, and what we expect from you guys. That disaster preparedness, in case you assess, I think this is a very good case study that we are doing this mock exercise and all the community level awareness about glove, landslide, etc. Since so many years now, and the impact is that today, whatever you are hearing, that life loss is less than 100, it is in 2 digits. This is because of that people, they followed the alert. They they immediately 10:27, the lake burst was there. The outburst was at 10:27, and there was very little time when the water came to this our dam, and this information came to the dam, but they were going to open the gates, etc. But there was no time actually, and the force of water, you can see that the dam burst was there. Then, but villages, you might be knowing that around 80 village, town, big cities, they were there, and each one, each village, is affected economically. There is a big loss, but because they could listen the siren and the warning, which was given to these villages, and particularly to cities like Singtham and Gangtok. And result is that human life loss was not that much. So this is plus point, and this is a very good case study for NGOs who are working in preparedness. Most of the NGOs, they work in relief and rehabilitation, etc. But nowadays, I'm so glad that our NGO friends, they are also doing a lot of work in preparedness, in early warning, in warning dissemination, in Apada Mitra. There is a program of Government of India, and many NGOs, they are supporting that. So this part, I mean, very briefly, that what has happened in Sikkim. And friends, this is one state where there is a political will. Honorable Chief Minister, our Minister for Disaster Management, they came to, they camp in Singtham, 6 o'clock in the morning. And from there, they were monitoring each and every thing. And all the collectors and authorities, they really behaved, as a very, very, responsible person. And we could, the evacuation process, and this was very good. I'm very happy. I can assure you that nothing better than this was possible. After that, now the situation is with you that still we are having more than 2,000 people in the relief camps. Houses, we need temporary shelter. And now after Dashera, you will see that the cold, the already, even in Delhi, the cold season, our winters started. And you can imagine in Sikkim and in hilly areas, and particularly in case you go up, then they need shelter. So I think from Mr. Deepali Jindal, Deepali ji, you are right that in fact, Deepali ji's question is that the early warning system of the lake didn't work. Actually, in September itself, there was a big committee of scientists including some scientists from Swiss Development Corporation. They invited, few scientists from, from their own country, and they were also part of our expedition. Earlier, we were having sensors which were monitoring the water volume of water in the lake. But now they were saying that it collect data, and then the warning will also be there in case there is any breach or anything. But that didn't work. You are right. And that instrument which they fit in the Lonach Lake, that didn't work. And it happens in the science. It was only 1 week before, and we were monitoring how it behaved. But that part is there. But we don't blame them. They were having good intention. They wanted to help us. These equipments, you never know. I fully agree with you that that was not there. Just watching actually this is connectivity. You might be knowing that all the bridges were washed away. Today, I mean, that day there was hardly any connectivity, from Sikkim. But today you can say that the connectivity is restored, maybe by bamboo bridge, maybe by, temporary bridge. Army is helping us in that. So we are, I mean, keeping track of this in 1 month time, or we cannot do more than that. But I'm assuring you that temporary structures for communication, for this is restored, up to certain extent, and this is the situation. Now, I think as far as gaps are concerned, I mean, we are not here to criticize system or anything. We are here to see, that what were the, strength, and our strength is that community behaved, very sensibly. And most of the time we see that in cyclones and this kind of disasters, community, you need police, to evacuate people. Here, immediately, when there was a siren from this dam, immediately the people behaved, and in many villages there was not even one casualty. So this is the good part. NGOs, the network which we are having, tourist association, the helping hand, and I'm thankful to Sphere that they try to organize, some of the NGOs and NGOs association there in form of IAG, but I mean, not very, because we don't have too many NGOs. But whoever is working in the non-governmental sector, they are very serious, very sincere. And I can name few, Satya Sai Samiti and Helping Hand and all these people. They are very nice. And in fact, for several days, the community kitchen, etc., they were run by these people. And I'm grateful to all of them, for assisting us in that. So, so non-governmental organization, government, community, I think this is a good study, for NGOs, how they can work together and how they can coordinate. Central government, I think I salute to them, and they are all the time, immediately after hearing there was a PMO immediately, and they were in track with us, what is going on and how much is the loss. And so we are really grateful to central government, for their this I would like to mention here. Now, what we need, at this stage, in case, today one company, they were showing me, some of the prototype, etc., So we are in touch with the international agencies, we are in touch with the UN organization, but we are not getting funding, for temporary shelter. Government is saying that we will help, but it is very slow. the central government, the interministerial committee, which has already gone to Sikkim, they have to give their report. So there are many things which we are doing, and every time. In fact, I was requesting this fear that you just wait for a few more days, because we are collecting, how much we require and how much is needed in this block or in this district. So this information is we have collected this, but still, accurate information, it will take time. And so, but I think you guys have lots of experience. You have worked in different disasters. You kindly tell us. There was a issue in public health also, that we are expecting that there may be some sort of problem, because the cities were stinking actually, and all the sewer system, everything was blocked actually. Even in Gangtok, and there was blockade completely, and silt was there in some of the houses, and this kind of, and we were not having that expertise actually. We never faced this kind of disaster, and so whatever experience you guys have, what you can do for us, I want to listen that part actually, because you already have all these informations which is required, which is needed. In case you want any information, I will let you know. In case it is academic exercise for you, that is also you are most welcome. In case you need anything, any information, anything, I will be very happy to provide you, because we need all kind of assistance. It's not monetary, it is not only food, it is not only the shelter, it is not even the academic. In case you know that what can be done, in case you know some of the agencies which can help us, in case in health sector, in different sector actually, we are open for. I mean, हम लोग तो हाथ जोड़ के प्रार्थना कर रहे हैं, because India never asked for any international assistance. But yes, our Honorable Chief Minister has asked for UN agencies, that because NDMA member secretary was there 2 days before, and our Honorable Chief Minister requested him that you kindly brief UNDP and UNICEF and all these organizations. And because Sphere India is coordinating with each and every organization, so I will request them that as far as PDNA is concerned, I think Government of India is doing it. We don't need that expertise from anywhere. We need people who can now come forward and say that this is temporary shelter. Then the agriculture expert we need. Because you know that this entire area, farmers, they don't know where is their field. It is all washed away. And Sikkim is organic state, and we are all organic. We don't want to lose that identity. We want to sustain that. So in case any expertise you have, you are most welcome, more than welcome. I stop here, and Silo, you can, or whoever is coordinating it.
Thank you, Professor Vinod sir,
Go ahead.
for your detailed inputs on this. The questions which you have asked the group, I think, yeah, we are having the next session open for the participants to contribute to that, and I'm sure we will get the answers to the questions thrown by you also. But before that, I think we have a question to you, sir, which will be what is the government's plan of action for long-term recovery or rehabilitation and preparedness measures for future calamities? So is there any plan for the government at the moment for that? Yes.
Imran, you are asking me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Actually, as I told you that it is 2 days ago, the member secretary Kamal Kishore ji and Ata Hasnain sir, they were there in Gangtok. They had a discussion with Honorable Chief Minister and our Chief Secretary. And later on, I had a discussion with them. and they have offered us PDNA that we will do all these things. Long-term recovery plan actually is being prepared by the state because nobody will prepare that. We will have to prepare this. And but they will assist us with their experience and all. And but till now we don't have any. We are working on short-term recovery first. We need. We are not doing this exercise. We will continue, but immediately what we need, we are concentrating on that. So that list is with us. In case you are interested in short-term thing, that what we need, what is required, we will be very happy to discuss that. Long-term recovery plan and all these, we are working on that. And
Thank
even NDMA is working on that. They are helping us. And after PDNA and then it will be more clear actually.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. And it would be great if you can share that short-term recovery
Sure.
plan with us, because all the organizations who are planning for the recovery programs and projects in Sikkim, they may align themselves to that list which is being prepared by you. Yeah.
Definitely.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So I'm now opening this session up for all the participants for the discussion on emerging gaps, challenges, and strategies. And maybe we can answer to the questions asked by Professor Vinod sir also. So open to all the participants. Maybe anyone can raise the hand and then we can take it forward. I think I can see one hand already raised. So Mr. Omkar, I think I saw your hand first. So maybe you
Yes,
can
this
unmute
was
yourself and then.
yes. Thank you. Just for the representative from the SDMA, sir, we have actually, I'm from UNICEF. So we have reached out to the Special Secretary, Mr. Rai, offering support. And if there is any specific support, sir, from UNICEF, we can come and support, like technical support or in terms of how things can be done from our experience in other states or other countries. Purely technical support can be immediately available because we have an office in Assam, which looks after Sikkim also. We can immediately deploy technical expertise to your office and get get you the solution as and when required. So we have already returned to Mr. Rai, who is the special secretary. Thank you.
No, Prabhakar told me this thing. Thank you, Omkar. Prabhakar Rai is in touch with me. He mentioned this, that UNICEF is in touch, and
Even if the support is beyond the
whatever you
scope of the
write
letter,
to
sir, we can.
whatever you write to them, you copy to me so that I am also in the loop.
Okay, sir. Okay.
So Sarabjit, or you just ask or take my email and kindly keep me in the loop actually.
Right, sir. My colleague Anand is the in charge there. I
Anand
look
is
after
it.
West Bengal.
I know,
So Anand, I'll tell Anand to talk to you, sir.
Yeah, thank you, dear.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. So I would go to the Peniel Malakkar. I think second hand was raised by him, as I could see. So yeah, you can Peniel Malakkar, you can unmute yourself and then speak.
Am I audible?
Yes, very
Yes,
much.
Peniel, you are very much audible. Good afternoon.
Sir, thank you for sharing, and especially I'm really struck with the experience of community engagement. Now, I really just wanted to talk about very briefly, the experiences that we have in the hill section. Other hilly states in the northeast, be it even in the north, like Himachal or Mussoorie, the nature of impact is so heavy and so fast and so furious. So, is it a good time to keep taking lessons learned and preparing the hill sections, hilly region, especially the Himalayan region, to see that the preparedness is engaged, community is engaged, and as we see this, early warning system probably need to be a little more expanded and see that they are more actively reaching out to these people in the ground, so that their evacuation would faster. And then also medical emergency responses. We saw in some of the hill areas where we worked on preparing the community, just the baseline, the first aid, the basic rescue and things like that can really help. So just wanted to wake ourselves up to see that from the lessons learned from this, how about really working on other hilly regions as well. Thank you.
Thanks, Peniel. And we are, because many things are going parallelly, and the lesson learning and all these things. So SSDMA is on job, and we are doing this exercise. And as I told you, that Sikkim, I can say with my experience, is one of the most prepared, state. And as far as the early warning is there, we were having the early warning system. It failed. And luckily, Central Water Commission, their system was working, so they could inform us that there was a burst and 60% of lake water. I mean, they gave the correct information to us, and to the dam also. So this is a creditable thing, I should say, and we should salute our scientists. Actually, they have very accurate information, and nobody can blame to these scientists. We are proud of them, actually. Yeah. Yes, any other question? Rohini ji, you unmute, Imran bhai, जरा सा help करिए.
Yeah.
Perfect. Got
Yes,
it. Got
Rohini.
it.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to add that, and Pushpalata from Doctors for You can kind of add to this. We had a team that, we're healthcare NGO. So a team that went to do an initial, response for healthcare. And this doesn't have to be today, but I'd like to know if there were any needs that were unfulfilled or any locations that we should focus on. This is obviously contingent on, we're not getting, I don't have that input. Pushpalata might know more latest. But if there's anything healthcare wise that you feel might be something that we should look at, happy to consider it. Thanks.
Thank you.
विनोद सर
जी हेमंत
विनोद
भाई.
सर अगर आप आदेश करें तो मैं थोड़ा सा मैम को सपोर्ट के लिए बात कर सकता हूँ.
हाँ, बताइए जी.
Ma'am, we are in Mangan district actually, and due to this food walk and all, every day we are approaching to the new areas is cut off. तो चुंगतांग में जो अर्जेंट नीड है वो करीब 10 से 15 ऐसे ओल्ड एज लोग हैं जिनका स्पेक्स वगैरह अवेलेबल नहीं है. तो अगर कोई मतलब हम लोग भी ऑफ्थल्मोलॉजिस्ट को ट्राई कर रहे हैं और अभी हम उनको मतलब उनको लेके वहां तक कैसे जाए हमारे लिए भी चैलेंज है. तो अगर आप उसमें हमें सपोर्ट कर सके तो बहुत ही मेहरबानी होगी.
Actually, हेमंत भाई, मेरे ख्याल से वर्ल्ड बैंक, sorry, this WHO doctors, they have also prepared the requirement. So we can ask Prabhakar ji to share that in case.
Okay, sir.
So, but your requirement is very genuine, and you know that what is needed. So Rohini ji, this is one. I mean, this is very urgent need, which is mentioned by our friend Hemant.
Thank you very much. So I think those who have already asked questions, they can put their hands down. Otherwise, it will be very confusing because there are a lot of hands I can see. Hina, I saw your hand long back. I didn't call you.
Thank
Hina,
you so much. Thank you. Thank you, Professor Sharma, for these broad insights and overview. I represent Change Alliance, and we have been responding to this through some of our local organizations. Would be happy to, learn more about the needs, and we are in touch with SSTMA as well. I just had a humble submission, hearing Omkar also in his presentation where he was talking extensively about reworking on a complete ecosystem. So while we are talking about raising temporary shelters, why doesn't the civil society get together to complement government's efforts in establishing habitat support centers, which can provide technical support, assist the affected people in situ, facilitating people's access to microcredits, and thereby, designing, preparing prototypes for disaster resilient safe houses. So this is a proposition which has been discussed, and we've had some discussion with OSTMA also recently, who are also thinking of, looping in the civil society in these kind of, resilience building efforts. Would like to hear from you on your insights on this and how open the other responding agencies or the donors would be to this concept. Over from my side, sir.
Very good question. And my reply will be that we are also working on this, that there should be a joint front, and there should not be any repetition, duplication, etc. And so we are working on it, and we are collecting that who is having what and how they can help us. So let us collect these information, and very few donors are coming forward. And nowadays, you might be knowing that India, international agencies, there are very limited agencies which are allowed, for humanitarian assistance. So we know that, and but the national agencies are coming forward, and I will request you guys that you help us, because there are many foundations, who are, and most of these NGOs who are sitting here, they are working with these national foundations, so they can come forward. We don't have that big requirement, so I think it's a very big temporary shelter, etc. We have limited things which is needed. And it's a very small state. The population is also limited. And the medical thing, I think, thank God that we are having a very big hospital, 1,200 beds. And so everybody was criticizing what you will do of this kind of hospital when it was constructed. But now we realize that, yes, sometimes there is a disaster, and WHO is with us, and their people were there. So I'm very happy that people are willing to do. The only thing which I am realizing that people are not coming up. They are just asking us what you need. I mean, it's open actually now. I mean, everybody knew what is really required, and we are in touch with each and every organization, and NDMA is in touch. So there should be a mechanism where all this assistance can come in one place, and our relief commissioner, he can coordinate. He's a very nice officer, very good, very effective. So everything is fine. Now we need that you guys, you initiate these foundations, maybe Reliance, maybe, HCL Foundation, maybe, I don't know, n number of foundation who are working. I'm chairman of the FICCI Disaster Management Committee. I am also sensitizing them that you should also write to some of the founders, some of these companies. So they are also writing. So we are working on it actually.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, everybody. So, since we are getting very close to the time, I would request everybody to be brief in the questions so that we are able to close very near to the last time. So yeah, I would say I could see Aniruddha De's hand up. So yeah, please go ahead.
Imran, I was seeing Dr. Sanjay Srivastav, Colonel Srivastav.
I think that hand is not up now. Maybe his question is already answered, so I don't know.
Colonel Sanjay is also here. Maybe we can take after another.
Good afternoon,
Anirudh is sitting in another country. Anirudh, good afternoon.
No, sir, I am here in Kolkata now.
Oh,
because
now you are back.
I reached yesterday.
So I have to keep track of you,
Thank you, sir. Sir, it's my privilege. So one thing I would like to say, I really appreciate what you have said. You have praised the scientists and their works and all these things. But what I think that you remember that before this devastation, I repeatedly requested you to just approach for some genuine support from somewhere else. That I am sure, as you said also, that is in the process and that is being done, and I am happy. Another thing is, sir, I am very much concerned about, we have been talking about humanitarian assistance, humanitarian relief and all these things. But the thing is that the scientists, because if you see the devastation, the dam water needs to be released. That warning was not given on time because there are people, those who were paid for it, and they are scientific, they have scientific knowledge and all these things, and that is why they were actually given the job. They didn't do that on time, and it could have saved a lot. This is one thing. Another thing is that most people in West Bengal State Intelligence Group, I saw some posts on how this was after disaster, the dumping the clothes and all these things, old clothes and all these things. So this is puja time in West Bengal. I know many people, they need to just clear their wardrobes, and in the name of to the poor victims, so they should get some clothes and ahare. So kind of an approach, and which is not appreciable. That is one thing. And the West Bengal state government, I'm talking about this from Kalimpong, not about Tista, because in West Bengal, Tista has come to the plains. So there, it is dredging is required. So what plan the West Bengal state government has, or what plan they have shared with Sikkim government, because it has to be a joint effort. So Sikkim government should know that government of West Bengal is doing. So you are the vice president of Sikkim State Disaster Management Authority, and this every time we have been. I would like to ask you, that is, every time we have been just listening that it's Sikkim, West Bengal. These are the two states. Then Bangladesh. That is an international issue. But what collaboration and how the two states are working? Is it the Sikkim Chief Minister is very proactive and he has been doing something, or it is both? Because as humanitarian agencies, we need to see. If not, then we have to just keep on pressing them that this is what is required for the moment. So please do a coordinated effort. So with that, on behalf of Climate Action Resource Network Asia Pacific, I would like to thank you as a member, and thanks the organizers of the multi-stakeholder workshop. Thank you, sir.
Aniruddhji, I thank you very much, and it's a very, very important question which you have raised. And I support your idea that there should be interstate cooperation. And unfortunately, we have cooperation. There is no doubt in it. I don't blame any state. We have some. I mean, in case I compare with Assam, there is more coordination and cooperation. West Bengal, I think we need, and we will request you that you should facilitate that. And at present, I can see that there is not much communication. And our people, they have visited, once or twice to West Bengal. But I think all the northeastern states and West Bengal, there should be better coordination. And in this kind of situation which you have faced, which we have faced, recently, I think with climate change, this type of thing will be more frequent, and we need more cooperation, in this. So I will request you that people like you, who is very dynamic, you can coordinate with the West Bengal government. And we are very happy to work with you or with any government actually. Sikkim state, that way, you know, we have no inhibition. Whatever we are doing, it is open, you know, to everybody. And we don't have any, we have professor from Amrita University, you ask her, whoever is coming, you know, scientific work, anything, we will provide whatever we have. We are not very rich state, we are not very, but we are with you in case you want any, you know, collaborative offer. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. So in the interest of time, sir, we are thinking that we will take all the questions together and then maybe you can address to them in
Yeah,
one go.
that will be nice. In fact, I am having lectures since morning today.
We understand, we understand, sir. Thank
I
you
will
very
be
much. So
very happy to,
I would
you know,
request
answer
everybody whose hands are up, I would take the names and then we can have the questions together. Then Professor, sir will answer them together. So yeah, Colonel Sanjay, please unmute yourself and take your question. Yeah.
No. Good evening, sir. Namaskar. So this is Colonel Professor Sanjay Srivastava. At this juncture, when you are fighting, I always call disaster a war. We are all with you, sir. Two few important points which I wanted to say. One is regarding every disaster is a lesson. So this disaster also, we have a lesson that the early warning dissemination up to the last mile, sir. We have suffered. So we need to have a redundant system, layer 1, layer 2, layer 3. For future reference, I am saying this. We should plan in a such sensitive state like Sikkim. Though Sikkim is one of the best managed state in terms of disaster management. Our ham radio team is there, sir, from West Bengal, which is working. And we are getting the ground reports. They are doing a good job. One of the digital healthcare center we have come up, sir. It's a modular mobile device mounted on a small vehicle. And it is doing all available online test, online doctor consultation, medicine delivery. So we did a job during the Delhi flood. Uttarakhand, we are already there now at the Gram Panchayat level. So this modular device is a wonderful device and we can place it at wherever you desire. So that is the offer from our side, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much, Colonel Sanjay Srivastava. So yeah, we will now go to Praful Rao, sir, to ask a question here.
Thank you, sir. Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon, sir. I'm Wing Commander Praful Rao from Save the Hills. We are a Kalimpong-based NGO working on landslides and disasters for the last 17 years. My question would be a very specific one. I do not, while I'm not saying we should forget about, but then we should focus, I think, on the next monsoons, which are just 6 months away. And how do we deal with that monsoon, with the condition of the Teesta River and NH10? As you know, NH10 is a nightmare to drive during the monsoon period. Sections of the road just vanish. And if you're driving at night, I would caution everybody that, do not try to attempt to take the NH10 after dark. The alternative routes are also now somewhat okay, but they are much, much longer. So what is the plan that the government has for improving the condition of NH10 within a short time? And I would also appreciate both Sikkim as well as government of West Bengal to set up some sort of a thing where people are warned about the status of NH10 at various places. Maybe one could be at Chitre, or maybe one could be at Rampu or Gangtok or something like that, where there's a coordinated information to public, because 4,000 odd vehicles move on this highway at peak times. 4,000 odd vehicles into 4 would be almost 16,000 people. So I would request both the governments to kindly look into this factor. We've tried to look at it, and our WhatsApp group Hazard Alerts works for this, and there are many people in this group, in this meeting, who are from hazard alerts. I'm sure they will bear me out. But then we are a very, very limited, we have very limited resources. I think the government should step in here and give us proper information about the status of the highways, especially during the monsoons, because this becomes almost a very, very risky drive from Sevak to Gangtok. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Mr. Rao. So we will now go to Dr. Sudesh Vardhan. So, yeah, please unmute yourself, sir. You're on mute.
Okay, yeah, thank you very much. My observation is regarding the persisting danger. The danger of the lake is still not over. We have our expert from Amrita University, Amrita Vishwa Vidyapeetham, Professor Vinod Sharma sir he knows Manisha madam, and we have been also working in Sikkim. But now we have our expert on glaciology and on GLOF. And we also want to contribute to study and monitor the present day lake level. And our immediate findings are that the danger is still yet there. The level of the lake is still at the dangerous level, and a lot of broken glacier ice is floating on it, which is also likely to melt in due course and raise the level of the lake. And we are prepared to monitor it. My request to Vinod Sharma sir is to please facilitate our interaction with the Chief Secretary, who is perhaps not very forthcoming in asking us to continue with our studies there. Please help us, and I would request my colleague Dr. Remya to please elaborate further on this subject. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Good evening, all. So I have to say that I already worked in this lake. I have a couple of papers in this, already predicted this disaster, like 2013, my post graduation, and 2019 in my PhD time. So I'm unfortunate to see this disaster I already predicted. So the thing is, right now we can move on this to the post disaster stage. So as Vadhavan sir said, we did the analysis using the satellite data. So there was a multi-hazard event like the cloudburst induced avalanche that it hit the lake, and still the glacier ice is melting on the lake, and still the lake level has been lowered, but the surface area of the lake still existing water and ice is there. So the thing is how can we mitigate this lake to avoid further disaster? Like there is another lake on top of this North Ronak Lake that is also overflowing it. So the first condition is to mitigate this lake, and we have some we are actually from the sustainable future. So we work on village level and the other things. So we would like to collaborate us in the terms of scientific as well as a social aspect. So yeah.
So kindly facilitate, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Ramya. Thank you. I think we will take now last two questions, and then we will give it back to Professor Vinod sir to answer. So I could say Rinchu Tekpa has her hand up. So you may unmute yourself and ask the question, please.
Hello. My name is Rinshu and I'm from Darjeeling. Just a brief introduction. Can you guys hear me? Abraham?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, yeah. So just a quick introduction, because I did my research on hydropower dams in Sikkim and West Bengal for the past 6-7 years. So I don't have questions, but few observations since you're looking for inputs that is going to feed into your report. First, I'll just say something about Vinod sir's comment about people being prepared. And I think you should also take note on that, Abraham. In this year, March 12th, there was already a very serious mock drill that was conducted in various parts of Sikkim. And there was mock drill conducted last year also. So 2 successive years, we have had serious mock drills in all the vulnerable areas, Mangan district, Namche district, Gangtok. So people were prepared, and that's absolutely fine. They knew exactly what to do, particularly people in Chungthang. They knew the lead time that the water would reach them, if the water breached Muguthang or if the water breached Chatin. So people knew those basic information, which saved them. But unfortunately, if you cross the border in West Bengal, people did not know about these information. So while lives were saved with these mock drills, And thanks heaven for the state government who intervened with these kind of serious mock drills. Similar kind of drills were not done in West Bengal. And it's a very serious gap because it's the same river that flows across 2 states, also into a different country, that's Bangladesh. So there is no integrated system that connects all of us to the potential risk, to the potential hazard that the water becomes in case of GLOF or any other natural calamities. So while Sir said it's a good thing, I think that, it was unfair for people who were unaware of this pending disaster, unaware of these mock drills, and unaware of information, and unaware of where to run to save their lives. So that was for Vinod sir, who's been in the SSDMA for a really long time. And just another comment for Omkara, UNICEF. He said that the development are a necessity and we need to have a lot of development. But if you have to understand this disaster, then there's this whole linkage between dam development, 5 commissioned dam, large dams, that's like over 500 megawatt on Teesta, numerous small dams over 50 megawatt, and this railways. And so he casually said that they do not affect. The railways have been very well planned and the mitigation measures have been taken, but that's not quite right. So that's a wrong claim, a wrong information. In fact, many of the EIAs are not even available, and EIAs are just a copy-paste job. So just for Omkara, if you want to really understand ground situation, then these things have to be really looked into carefully and also with critical lens. And the third observation, sorry, just to taking a lot of time. The third observation is, I read the report that this preliminary assessment report that you made, the SPEAR by SPEAR India, and it's a very good initiative. But then it's very mild because what it's done right in the very first paragraph is that it talks as if there's been an earthquake of which the epicenter was in Sikkim, and then we've had the tremors, the after effects in West Bengal, but that this disaster is not quite that way. The whole section of West Bengal has been as affected as Sikkim. So the consequences of Sikkim disaster in West Bengal, or the aftermath of Sikkim disaster into West Bengal, I think this kind of words, it actually takes focus of West Bengal and the disaster that the people of Kalimpong district, certain parts have suffered. Because as it is, we are not getting central aid, and the state aid has also been very late. And we have people who have covered more part of Sikkim than West Bengal. So such reporting, I think it does not just does justice to the people like who are not in the limelight, because all the limelight is focused in Sikkim. And even the map that you showed, which has been like circulated almost in all the newses now, all the social media, is as if Teesta suddenly disappears from let's say Singtam, but it flows all through West Bengal, and it has damaged all the parts of many parts of the Kalimpong district, right from Kuch Bihar to Jalpaiguri into Bangladesh. So there is this, if you're to make a report, then this entire stretch, it's not confined to Teesta Valley of West Bengal or Sikkim, as Mr. Praful has said. It's like one river flowing across 2 states and into a country. It's like destroyed this entire pathway, right? So if your report has to include that this must be this element, that the disaster has not struck Sikkim, the disaster has struck the entire stretch of Teesta Valley. And the other thing is that there's a lot of focus on the numbers, the houses that were damaged, and all the information. I don't know, most of the information you must have got from Sikkim government's website. I don't know the West Bengal side, which has come in your preliminary report. I don't know where you got that from, but in the entire report, I did not see the voices of the people, the victims. It's just numericals and some facts, but what the people really experienced. So if you're interacting with some agencies like Save the Hills or like some other agencies, there has to be more that's going to feed you about the victims, about their state, or rather you guys come and do a field work rather than sitting in some Delhi or in other offices. So come and see for your own self and then make a good report, because if you are tied with international organizations, then this report needs to hold weight as to what has happened, right? Because if this is a GLOF incident, then GLOFs is going to happen all the time. And if we are going to build our homes in the same Teesta bed for the next GLOF to happen, then there's going to be a repetition of this disaster. So the lessons that we are going to be learning from this incident is going to be lost. Sorry, I went on a little preachy mode, but there was just so many things to say in such a short time. I think we can just get back through emails as well. So those were some of the observations that I had picked up while reading your assessment report and hearing to different speakers here. I think the report has to highlight what is happening on the West Bengal side. Sikkim is the focus as of now, but what is happening on West Bengal side and further below it, that needs to come very strongly in your report. And of course, this disaster should not take the focus from dams and dam failure, because what is also happening is that, dams getting washed away. Look at the usage of words, washed away. It's a dam break and a dam failure. So this should also come out strongly in your report, so that if there is development interventions or development activities of this mega size happening in the fragile Himalayas, then people take note of it. Because this is, whatever is happening in Sikkim was already predicted and it is already happening. So now what? So maybe all these things can go into your report to make it solid. Okay. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you. I think these are valid points, and we can take this points further from your emails also. So yeah, in the interest of time, we have one more hand. I think we can be very brief with the inputs on this. I would.
Mr. Gatso, can you hear us?
Hey, am I audible?
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Thank you. Thank you for Australia India for giving this platform for all of us also. And I can't agree more to Rinchu. All the experts that are present here, it was like very enlightening to know all your perspective and how prepared we are, and with all technical issues that we have been hearing through all the sessions. I'm right here. I've trekked, I've hiked almost 1 hour on the hills to get that signal. I'm from the ground zero, from the region where I'm this disaster happened. This question is to all the platform. It's not a question, it's kind of observation, but then we all should really think about this. Is this what's wrong now is that the whole narrative which has been built up, that it's a glove and it's a natural disasters, like Rinchu rightly mentioned, that what happened to the dam failure. Nobody is talking about the dam failure. And then we are talking about and still we are blaming the nature. We are still blaming the glove, glacier outburst. I don't know how we can say in today's time it's a natural phenomenon. When we know that a big dams, this scale of dam, which has been just built few miles away from the lake, the lake itself. And we all know, I don't know whether most of us will agree or not, that dam do contribute to the climate change and global warming. I mean, this dam, which just burst, which just gave away with, couldn't stand the flood that lake burst, is built just nearby. It's just few miles away from the lake outburst. Why we are not listening, looking into that aspects? Tista, how long is the Tista? Most probably one of the very medium-sized length river it is. How many dams are being built in this? Are we still with experts and all the scientists that we, the society that we have, all the experts, are we still trying to ignore this part, that we are just encroaching too much into the fragile ecosystem? These are the questions that we want. And also, I don't agree that I think I think the local communities, the indigenous people who lives just near the glacial lakes, just on the foot of those mountains, we don't buy all the time the opinion of the experts. I think the local communities who live by the region are also to be regarded as the experts, should be regarded as experts. And I think we have been warning this to the state government and to the all the agencies right from the day one, when it was initiated. Like to talk about stage 5 Dikchu Dam, the NSBC when we challenged the EIA of stage 3, the Chungthang Dam, the NSBC has mentioned that glove will not affect them because it's downstream, it's quite far from them. But today NSBC admit that glove this event has affected, damaged, lot of has put a lot of loss to their thing. So they admit after 8 or 9 years they are saying that this glove has affected. And the whole report, if you see, then understanding is that after the Chungthang town where the dam was built, it seems that we all believe that the glove, even if in the glove that lake outburst was there, that after Chungthang it will disappear. So we all started believing in that, but that glove didn't stop there. No, it will go down. If you look at our topography, it's just slope, it's down, it's almost 30-degree angle. So these are few things. I don't know how we I know this disaster brings a lot of money again. There are NGOs, there are all kind of institutions, international, national, who will be now interested in I mean, most of them, I'm not saying that most of them with a good intention, but these bring a lot of money again. So I don't know how long we as an individual, we as a society, we as an society can play around with the lives of poor and innocent people. My village, myself is there to build the bamboo, the cane bridge which has been built there. And today the army are using, today after 12 days, are still using that bridge to come to as a connectivity. So I don't know. I mean, just an example how now I think time has come just to come out from that nutshell and say that there is terribly wrong with the development model in the Himalayas. And also the EIA of any project in the future, the Himalayan state should have a different EIA. We cannot have this blanket EIA as a whole of India is following. Thank you. I just wanted to make it short. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you very much. So I think, yeah, we are over time now by 15 minutes. We will try to close it as early as possible. So over to you, Professor Vinod sir, if you would want to respond to these points raised by the
No,
colleagues here.
Imran, actually, I want to thank each one of the speaker, and let me start with Dr. Colonel Srivastav. He said very good, his observation is, in fact, he's saying it is a suggestion that the strengthening the early warning system, and in fact, for GLOF and we have very little information and very little system developed for these even internationally, I should say, because SDC, they fixed the early warning system and it failed. So I think this is one very good suggestion which he is saying, and he is working. I will invite him to Sikkim and take his suggestion that what kind of multi-hazard system we can develop or early warning. Then Professor Ramaya from Amrita and Dr. Sudesh, they are talking about their intention, that how in fact I agree with Dr. Sudesh that the lake, still scientists are saying that after 60% water release, even now it is dangerous. And so we requested NDMA, and they are planning to send a a team of scientists, and very soon. So I will give this message to them that Amrita University is willing to join, maybe as one of the scientists. This I can say. Then I think many good suggestions like Himalayan system. This is a very fragile ecological system. In fact, Sikkim, we gave a request. It is still in PMO, which is talking about Himalayan Institute of Disaster Management and Climate Change, and a study group can be there, and it can be a central institution. So people are working on that also. Even today, somebody was talking that we will help you in that. So maybe Uttarakhand or maybe Sikkim or some state, Himalayan state. I fully agree with them that our issues are different unless and until we have collaboration with exchange of ideas, etc. I think these very important thing. I agree with Lepchaji that the EIA and all these things should be more strict, for Himalayan ecological system, because it is a kacha pahad actually, which is young mountain and very fragile ecology. And so I'm an ecologist basically, so I understand all these things which he's, and he has a passion actually for. So he's right. I'm with him for all these things. But I think these are other issues. I think now come to this issue and let us conclude. Now, if you are here, it means you are interested. Now, I am interested to know that how you can help us in this time. Now you know the issues. Our two issues, how you can help us, temporary shelter, medical help, public health, creating awareness, how you can help, and which organization can provide what. This is the thing which Sphere can coordinate, and maybe with UNICEF and all these agencies, and then come out with a picture that how all these organizations can assist us at this stage. Now let us talk. I mean, don't talk. We are all academic people, but don't talk academic, too much academic now. Now we need the immediate, our requirement is there. You just tell us how you can help us in this. And in case whatever assistance you can do, we will be doing it. Somebody can coordinate, or our state government can coordinate. I can request my secretary to be, help you in that. But I think Sphere India, when they have started this program, they should come out with a white paper that who can assist and what kind of assistance is possible. Thank you very much for joining and your time. And I think now any last word from Mr. Ibrahim or Mr. Imran?
Yeah,
Thank you very much for
thank you.
joining this meeting.
Thank you very much, sir, for your valuable time and valuable inputs, and thanks everyone for their time and very in-depth details and valuable inputs from their perspective. So yeah, I think I had to do the way forward, but I think the discussion is already did the way forward, and we got some brief points to follow. So I think first and foremost, I think it would be great if we can receive the initial recovery plan from you, sir, so that Siljo can send it across to all the organizations so that they can write back to Siljo and tell him about what their plans are, how they can contribute to that initial recovery plan, so that we can share it back to you. So that is, I think, one recommendation and one way forward here, which we all should follow. And I think from all the discussions, it came up that civil societies should join hands with the government, local government, to build on the preparedness and community engagement at the local level. So that we can work together on the mitigation measures to address any future disasters, or which can help us in mitigating the risks for the future monsoons. And also there was the way forward was that SDMA has sought expertise from the from the UN agencies, and I think UNICEF has already confirmed and committed their support to the SDMA on this. So that can be one more way forward here. And then another point was on the interstate coordination to ensure proper awareness among all vulnerable populations. And another point was on to develop a balanced and comprehensive report capturing the equal impact of this glacial lake of the glacial lake outburst flooding in Sikkim. And also, I think there was one more point on maybe developing the white paper to compile all the promises from the humanitarian sector and develop a unified response plan. I think these are some key points which were there discussed from the during the discussion. So if there is anything else, I think we can all write to Siljo so that he can compile it and bring it as part of the report. So I think that is it, and thank you very much for joining and for sharing your thoughts and observations. Over to you, Siljo, if you have anything to add before we close.
Nothing to add, sir. You have really justified your role, and thank you so much for moderating. Though it was a very challenging to take up all the questions and thoughts from all the people, but thank you for moderating and for summarizing this entire discussion so beautifully. However, I understand we might have missed out on certain things, and due to the time lapse, we couldn't cover all, like, hear from all the participants here. However, we would love to hear from you and your way forward. As suggested, we'll be coming out with a detailed report on this particular consultation, and also the impact covering both the sites, and we understand where we have lapsed, and thank you for pointing it out. And I've sent my email ID on the chat box. Please do note it and share your feedbacks, thoughts, and way forward, whatever action plans you would like us to take it or advocate with the national authorities or the state authorities. Please do let us know, and we'll be happy to compile it. And thank you to all the participants, all the speakers, especially Prafulji, Hemantji, Omkar, everybody who contributed from their wide expertise, and especially Professor Vinod Sharma to amidst your busy schedule for taking out time and patiently responding to all the queries. Thank you, Professor Vinod, as well, and to all the members who have joined and contributed to this. And we really look forward to your active support and contribution, so that we can together work and develop a common strategy for responding and to further rebuilding Sikkim and West Bengal. With that note, we can perhaps close the meeting, and wishing you all a happy puja break as it's coming this weekend. So have a nice weekend, everybody, and hoping to see you all soon and stay connected. Thank you, everyone. Bye bye.